Hey guys, Jim the Owl here, and goddamn does the CyberPunk DLC not think it's worth a lot, don't it? 25 smuckaroos for that bad boy. Plus the base game currently is for 25, you can grab them both 45 smuckaroos, which is what I've done. So, here we are with a Cyberpunk video, because I gotta get my money's worth somehow. So, I plan on playing the DLC as soon as it launches, and, giving my run through that. But according to the interwebs, it's gonna have a whole new slew of cybernetic reworks and gameplay adjustments to bring a whole new experience to the Cyberpunk world, as this expansion is not a DLC. They don't like you calling it that. It is an expansion that adds to the sprawling world of Night City by adding a new location, story, and so what's and so's on. That's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about is the fact that Cyberpunk exists in a state currently, and let's see what that state is. I'm just going to jump straight into fucking gameplay. We're not going to do character customization because that's nudity, and my ass is not dealing with nudity. Let's play a game of hot fire tag. We're going to get through this as much as possible, tagging each section so that I can get to the actual game and gameplay. I spent way too long on the quote-unquote prologue of this game, which we'll talk about in a minute, but the actual opening prologue that I consider it to be to get you into Night City goes the following. So pretty much, well, depending on what background you pick at the beginning, I think determines what you do at the beginning. For me, it's just rip off my sigil, hotwire my car, and get to the driving. The driving itself in of itself is just terrible in most aspects in third person. I can't stand the third person driving in this game. One, the sensitivity was way too damn low, but that's just a me problem. Two, it feels like I'm constantly adjusting my fucking camera to keep up to where I'm turning, which is irritating and annoying. And the cars control fucking like wacky cheese. Like, it feels like I'm playing a kart racer with some of these cars, man. They're so bad to drive. But once you get into first person, some cars have become bearable, other cars do not, because they're just a small slit in the screen. So it's 90% car interior, like fucking 10% windscreen. But I pick a car that's just all windscreen, no guff at the end of it all. But we'll get to that. So from there, after doing the driving, you get to meet your right-hand guy, Jackie Wells. I don't think Jackie changes depending on gender choices. I'm going to say he doesn't. It's always a male. I don't want to believe it changes. So I'm just going to say Jackie's always a male. He has the cargo we need to get to the next stop to teach us about Night City, which is Night City is a corrupt city. They show us this when you hit the border. Instead of like being sneaky about it and trying to sneak cargo past anyone, you instead just go straight in and bribe the officials to let you pass, which kind of shows how all around, all the way to the high-ups, everyone in Night City is corrupt one way or another. It's just depending on where you stand on it. In the end, though, what we do get through the checkpoint, even though they do rat us out to the corporation we've stolen from, which gets our first on-rail shooting section. I don't like on-rail shooting sections at the best of times. I couldn't aim for shit. I don't know what my problem was, but just look at the mess on screen. I couldn't aim and shoot for shit. I don't think you can fail this. If you could, I must have been damn close to failing it, because I missed so many shots. But yeah, this wasn't indicative of my aiming skills throughout the rest of the game. I think I did pretty well overall in the aiming aspect. I'm not very good at aiming in general, so there's that. But overall, it teaches you every aspect of the game that you're going to be interacting with at some point. Eventually, you get away from the corporation you stole from. You find out that, we were traveling with a live iguana, which apparently is a rare thing in Night City. Wouldn't know. They don't really tell you anything about that. It comes up later on in the game as like the most cool cargo you've ever shipped. So it must be pretty cool. After that, you get like a little montage of things that you do in Night City to get to the point you're at when you're playing, which is just jobs, fucking getting to know Ripper doctors, jobs, people give you jobs, getting well to know Jackie well, Misty gets to know Jackie, you get your own apartment, and then that's where the game kind of picks up and shows you what you're doing next, which is your first proper job. You get to choose to do a tutorial. I did do the tutorial, simply because, fuck me, I'm bad at video games, and sweet Bippy, I was playing on the hardest difficulty you could select, so I wanted to make sure I understood most of the fucking options I had to use in this game. I only got halfway through the tutorial before wanting to bang my head. Okay, hear me out. In tutorials, this is a pet peeve of mine. In tutorials, I feel like first and foremost, we should teach me the things I don't know from any other game. Your aiming is no different, and your shooting is no different from any other game. The only difference you have in your aiming is if you go up to a piece of cover and aim, you'll pop up or to the corner. That is it. Like, that's the only difference you have from any other fucking game. You didn't teach me about the charge shots from tech rifles or anything, or the lock-on smart shooting. That would have been nice to know existed in the game, but they don't teach you that, and they only teach you the stuff that is only in their game halfway through the tutorial. I don't want to do it no more. I left before I learned anything useful. Like, I think the only useful thing I learned was hacking, and after that I just quit out because I didn't want to learn anything else. It takes way too long to get to the actual useful stuff. I wish tutorials were more streamlined so that you could skip the basic stuff if you know how to play a video game. I think it's getting a bit ridiculous in tutorials teaching us how to play a normal human game. You can have those options. People don't just... Like, I understand people don't play games. You can teach them that. Just let me skip it and learn the things that are only in your video game. But I've gone on a tangent. I quit out of the fucking stupid tutorial, and I get my first taste of combat on the hardest difficulty. Oh, so you get your first taste of combat, and Jesus Christ, you instantly learn that the hardest difficulty is no laughing matter. Their bullets are fucking deadly. Your bullets are potato pea shooters. They're just worthless as fucking gabagoo can be. So you've got to be cautious when entering a gunfight, something that I am not known for doing. I am not known for taking cover, not known for being cautious, not known about making a strategy before entering the fight. I enter fight, go boom, boom, hope for win. Not most fights in this game will not allow me to do that until my build is up and running. So for the majority of the time, I just take a lot of deaths. I think this time I took 3 to 4 deaths before finally conquering it. And I think Jackie took down the biggest of the bad. In this area, there's one guy with what I think is a heavy machine gun, but it could have been a light. I don't remember. I think it was a heavy. And 3 bullets from that fire pretty quickly, and they instantly kill you. But by the time you've reacted to the first bullet hitting you, the other 2 have already connected and already put you 7 feet deep. So you've really gotta be careful while taking combat in this game. The cover system is going to be a need and a must for the most part. But eventually the room does get cleared. I get a bunch of cool weapons, all the cool stuff I wanted. And we do the mission by getting the woman out the tub. Titties all on display. I wish there was a way to turn off nudity. I really do. There was no way I could find to turn it off. I really wish I could have turned it off just because I didn't have to edit this part out, because it's part of the story. It's right there. The end mission is her getting carted away in an ambulance type deal and us finishing the mission. And I can't do anything about it because her titties are on the screen. So I've either got to edit melons over them or just completely like leave it out. And I think I'm going to choose to edit melons over them because that just sounds funny to me. So enjoy the melons on screen, how much effort that takes to do. You can thank me later. You take her to the ambulance, people, after resuscitating her back to life. Bada bing, bada boom, job's a good one. After the mission ends, Jackie will take you home and borrow your car so you can go see Misty, but most importantly, you get taken to your first apartment in the game. Now, to my knowledge, this was the only apartment in the game until a update came out to add more. This is the only apartment I used. I didn't know there was any others. I couldn't find any others. I was pretty oblivious to what I was doing in this game, to be fair. I have no clue where the other apartments are. I can't find them. But most importantly, I was mostly planning my build from here on, trying to figure out what points were going to go where. This was when I had a quick look at all the items, found out unarmed didn't actually have any weapons to it, just augmentations, same as there was no cool swords for melee until I realized there were Ripper swords, which apparently only got added to the game. Like, they were a recent addition, they weren't in the base game, so that's probably why I struggled to find them, but that could just be me misreading stuff again. But we decided to go shotguns, and shotguns, LMGs is under the same tree. It mostly seems to be about movement and running fast, so I was all up for that. So, to me, a prologue is a straight to the point, narrow, like, non-split way of getting the game started, showing you the story of the main game, so that people can't just instantly get lost inside stuff and ignore your main vocal point. That's what a prologue is to me. So when the game starts up now and gives me open world freedom, I thought the prologue ended. The prologue does not end until the first main heist of the game. So we've still got a lot of time to move, so we better start moving. We're 10 minutes into this video and we're still in the prologue. So I'm going to shotgun some things off so we can get through this prologue a bit faster. Right, let's see if I can shotgun this pretty well without making any mistakes or being very incoherent. So, Jackie will start us off in this new part of the prologue, and the main part of the prologue, I would say, with the new job, which will be the main vocal point for the next couple of minutes of my life. The new job is from a guy named Dex. Dex is the main honcho, the big guy, the big dog, if you will. He is the one you go to make a name for yourself, the big leagues. Before we can go big leagues, though, we need to get some big league enhancements. This is where we go to the Ripper Doctor named Victor. Victor is our main guy, the main guy of most Ripper Doctor things. He gives us some free enhancements. Before we make it there, I get into a bit of a gunfight just to try out some shotguns, and I do enjoy myself very much indeed. From here, we get into a car ride now with Dex to find out what the job entails. The job entails getting a chip from some big corporation called the Ascara Corporation. I want to say that's how you pronounce it. They've been saying it all this time, and I still have no clue how you pronounce the name of the company. But there's a chip, it's hidden, we need to go find it. So we have two things to do. We need to set up the heist, and we need to find out where this chip is. We got two sections to choose from, and we have to choose one to start with first. So your two options are go speak to the client or go get the robot needed, which is like this spider gun robot thingy. I don't remember what they call it. You got those two options, go get that or go speak to the client. I choose client first. I didn't realize there was a wait option, so I had to wait between 6 and 6 for the dance stripper club to open up. So I went and did side jobs while I waited. The one side job that I tried to do was a monk side job. Monks are cool people in this game that have denounced technology and cybernetics, and they won't have any implants at all. This guy has been kidnapped and is being forced cybernetics upon him, and his brother is next. You've got to go save his brother. I learned very quickly that combat without the right weaponry, when underleveled and understated in the hardest difficulty, is nigh on physically impossible. So, after 20 deaths, I finally gave up and went stealth. And we get him back, we get him out after a long time has passed. We do the side job, but it is a very eye-opening experience. This game does not fuck around on the hardest difficulty. If you are not on par with the content you're trying to do, you might as well kiss that content goodbye. You are not doing it. There's no skill level involved. You're going to be there for either hours, twiddling them down, only to die to 3 shots anyway from a light machine gun, so it's pointless trying, or you just wait until you're actually supposed to be there and do it, because Jesus Christ, this was a nightmare. But I did choose the stealth option eventually, and sweet bippy, I never choose the stealth option again after this point, because apparently I don't learn my lesson. But then again, I don't do any content that requires me to level up enough and stuff. I just ignore most content that is too high or very high danger, which I'm going means I'm underleveled for it. But yeah, this mission was a fucking nightmare. It took me so long to do. This is why the beginning of the game is so long for me. I died so many times here, and you couldn't just leave it and come back to it later because it's a timed thing. If you just leave the area, you fail the side job, and I'm not sure if you could pick it back up again. But yeah, this is why I've stuck on this one so much, because this was a long period of time. This took so long for me to fucking overcome and deal with. It was a nightmare. I never want to go back. I've never had such a miserable time at the beginning of a game before, and I never want to relive the early game on the hardest difficulty ever again. It is a nightmare, I tell you. 6 till 6 will roll around after a few more jobs because I still didn't find out about the wait time skip until my friend told me, so we're still killing time. Once it is 6 till 6, we can go to Lizzie's bar where we will meet up with our client Evelyn, who will introduce us to Judy, the BD editor. BDs are brain dancers. This is a mechanic in the game to let you go into the past, into the eyes of someone else, to watch things in their eyes and pick up noises and stuff. It's a really weird concept. They're honestly not very fun to do. The first one is probably the worst. They get better as they go, but the first one is probably like the worst one there is. I don't like the BDs. They're not very enjoyable mechanic. They're just kind of slow and put a halt on gameplay. But for what they are, they do a job. So with Judy at the helm, we can go into a BD in Arazaka Tower so that we can look for the vault that we need to get the biochip that is hidden in there. After a few scans, you do find it, and then Evelyn wants to cut Dex out of the deal. I said no, because I didn't want to die a slow and painful death. So I said no to that deal. Could have done better choices in my life, I will admit, but I did say no. And then the next part of the prologue to get onto the actual heist itself is to go get the robot thing to actually get to the elevators and stuff and to hack into the mainframes and whatnot. Do the technical mumbo jumbo to succeed in the mission. So we have to go get it from a group of like bandit people, I guess you would call them. I don't remember what they're called. But that is the next step on our journey. The Flathead, see, I actually looked up the name for it this time, is located in the den of a bunch of fucking idiots. So first you gotta meet up with Jackie. You can meet up with some woman, I'm pretty sure, beforehand. And she will give you a fake credit to give them, which is what I did. So I end up giving them the fake credit. And it still ends up in a gunfight anyway, so it was fucking pointless. But I digress, we'll get to that. So you go to get the Flathead. I run too fast into the building for the game to realize I'm going too fast and teleport me all the way back to the doorway because game is not coded properly. Well done, CD Projekt Red. Making a class act game here, I see. From here, you just have to sit down, wait. Some big beefy guy opens a door and is like, "You haven't paid!" And I'm like, "Well, I got credits." And you give him the credits, shit happens, gunfight ensues, and now we gotta gun our way out of the building. Fair enough. This is the first non-handholdy gunfight in the main campaign, I would say you get. It's the first one since the one you did in the quote-unquote prologue / what I consider the tutorial, and it really gives you a grasp on how we're going to be dealing with people in this game. It really gives you an idea of what we're walking with. It's actually really fun. There's fighting your way through buildings, room to room, fucking checking your corners and shit. It's really fun. I do enjoy a good room clearing. And also, it just gives you a load of weapon and XP, so you can't fucking moan about it. You just gotta enjoy what you can. It is, again, hard on the hardest difficulty, but you just get to blow people away for a good chunk of time. My biggest complaint, and it will always be my biggest complaint about this game, is the checkpoint system is fucking ass. Like, it will not auto-save very well, so you'll spend hours clearing out room to room, and then it throws you all the way back to the beginning for fucking shits and giggles, just for no reason at all. Eventually, I did find out there was a quick save button, because I didn't want to pause the game, open the save menu, save my game, close the menus down. That was like fucking effort. I just want to play my video game. But once I found out there was an auto-save button, GG, it was fucking clean sailing from there. You can't save in combat, but that's to be expected. I don't think any game lets you save in combat. But yeah, combat was fucking ship-shop, top shape, loved it. Cleared out my way through the building, meet with a guy that we met with earlier that I didn't put in the video because I didn't think it mattered to anything. And they're going to go try and question all the dead people. He said he has his ways. I don't know how you question dead people. Bada bing, bada boom, we're ready to do the big. Just want to throw the quick bonus point out there because I haven't talked about it yet. Now that my stat is up to 10, I forget which stat it was, body. I think body was up to 10. I can now use LMGs, so my car layout will always be an LMG, a shotgun, and a pistol. LMG for the rifle ammo, shotgun for the shotgun ammo, and the pistol is just there as a reserve in case I run out of any of the other 2 ammo slots that I have currently got equipped. I can't use assault rifles or SMGs because LMGs use the same rifle ammo, so it would be pointless. I'd be wasting ammo in something that I'm actually expecting to use to what I'm not expecting to use. But as far as further out there now, that is the layout you'll be seeing from now on. It'll be an LMG, a shotgun, and a pistol. It will probably rarely ever change unless I get like a super good assault rifle or SMG that just outshines an LMG in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, that was just a quick update. Back to the video at hand. Back to the main quest in focus. Alright, we're going to try and do it as quick as possible because I want out of this prologue so I can actually get to the meat and bones of this game. So, Dex will take us in for a meeting. This is the first and only time we see T-Bug, if you get what I'm saying. God rest her precious little soul. From there, you'll discuss how the job's going to go down, what the job is, how we're going to get it done, all the ways ins and outs. You then get into the Daemon car after agreeing on your crappy split. Jackie wasn't happy with it, but we are not trying to fucking convince a higher up guy that our split is a 50-50 work. We gotta prove ourselves. From there, we get into the hotel from the car. He's going to be waiting down in the parking lot for us. You go into reception, tell them that you're here to see the big honcho. Big honcho's gonna get contacted. You have to try and call off the contact because he's not supposed to know we're here. From there, you go into your hotel room. Jackie doesn't know how to control the flathead because he's Jackie fucking Wells and he doesn't know what he's doing in any situation. From there, you need to control it yourself, going from room to room, distracting people to get them from air vent to air vent all the way to like the control room, so that you can take out the guy in the control room and pacify him so that he doesn't know what's happening. Gotta wait for T-Bug to code and do all the funny little tech bullshit so that you can get into the penthouse suite. Once you've waited long enough, she will get you in, and then you can take the elevator up to the penthouse suite. This is where the biochip is located, sadly. This is where everything goes tits up, because for some reason, the day we decided to do a robbery is the day they decided to do a meeting. Their head honcho's dad shows up, calls them names, gives him a little bit of a waggy finger of a no-no, gets strangled to death because family isn't everything apparently, and then everyone leaves after saying, oh wow, he's been poisoned, even though he definitely was strangled and would have marks on his neck to prove so. Oh my, the poison. From there, we try and figure a way out. T-Bug gets her brain fried and scrambled like eggs, so we don't have her anymore. From there, we jump down the roof. Jackie gets shot, but that was to be predicted. It was everywhere in the trailers. From there, where do we go? We got to try and get out. The biochip is damaged, so we've got to slot that into Jackie's head. Knowing how the biochip works now, it's no longer a shock that he dies when he takes it out. God rest in peace, Mr. Jackals. But before we can get to that point, we first got to get through the little bit of combat that is situated in between everything. Now, because I said this before, the combat system is great and fun, so there's no trouble in doing this part of the game. The only struggle is that because it's to do with whatever weapons they have, you don't get a shotgun till later on, so I'm trying to make do with assault rifles and pistols until I get to the weapons I'm actually fucking slotted in to use, thanks video games. And from there, you make your way all the way into the little lobby to get down into the parking lot, but before you can do that, there is a big bad robot boy blocking your way. Now, this is the funny thing to me. I went AFK because my girlfriend needed me, and by the time I came back, Jackie had already dispatched him. He took him down by himself. I was not needed in that boss fight at all. Thank you, Jackie, you legend. That guy had bullets inside him, but still managed to do a better job than I ever would have taking him down. The hardest difficulty does not apply to this man. He has dualies, and he knows how to use them. You get down into the basement, get into the car, get out of the parking lot, fucking Adam Smasher is there to make sure your car gets a bit of damage. Spooks all around, sets up a little rivalry between you and Mr. Adam's Poo-Poo Smasher. And then, before you know it, he's dead. Jackie dies, the car stops at fucking Dex's. And then you go in to see Dex. Dex is like, what's the cracking? You go wash the blood off your face, you get blindsided. So something I completely missed out of my rambles of kind of get through the prologue is that once you do quote-unquote die and get blindsided by Dex, you then have to play through a bit of Silverhand's backstory before you can progress the game. It literally just boils down to him assaulting Arasaka Tower and then getting fucking blindsided himself by Adam Smasher. That is the context of Johnny Silverhand's backstory that you play. You get dumped in a fucking ditch in this goddamn fucking wastelands, and then I don't even get the start of the trailer where Johnny Silverhands goes, wakes up Samurai, because for some reason that was only a trailer thing. They literally dumped me in a junkyard, but they still couldn't give me the line. You get taken by some fucking random guy who was trying to protect the head honcho's father. Prologue ends after he crashes the car, takes you to Victor, gets you set up, and then you find out you're stuck with Johnny Silverhands in your head, and there's no way out. He beats your ass in his fucking hotel room. Actually, no, it's your apartment. He beats your ass in, and then bada bing, bada boom, the game can begin. Jesus Christ, it's the longest fucking prologue of all time. But now we can get to the meat and bones of the game. Holy smockamolies, man. So, I forgot to hit record at some point, and you miss a few things. One, I do a couple of side jobs. Two, I progress the main campaign by one bit. Pretty much you go speak to the guy that saved your life. I'm not going to name names. If I remember the names, I'll say them. But even when I was playing the game, I didn't know their names. I'm not going to look up their names. This is my journey through the game. So if I don't know their names and just labeled them as certain things, you're only getting the labels. That's how this is going to work from now on. I'm not learning names. I'm sick of trying to learn names. I hate names. Names stink. So the guy that saves you at the beginning of the game after trying to get you killed at the beginning of the game, cool stuff. He used to work for the old guy that just got murdered, so he meets up with us and tells us about all these info guys he has and connections that he can get us with to get us moving in the main part of the game, and you just tell him, alright, you do you, boo. Johnny Silverhand shows up and is like, you don't have to speak to me out loud, yada yada yada, and then I'm back to doing side jobs. And to be honest, the side jobs are probably my funnest part of CyberPunk, and I say this a lot in this video so far, it seems. I will get into it later on towards near the end of the campaign. But side jobs are really fun in this game, and I would recommend slowing down and doing the side jobs and whatnot, because I feel like a lot of the game does boil down to the side jobs. But to make that make sense, we need to get through the story a little bit. But one side job that I will keep posting in on is these ones, which is the Datamon, the taxi company that gets you through the fucking beginning of the game. He's lost some cabs. Some vehicles just aren't there anymore. They've gone rogue. And you need to go get them. They all have different personalities and things wrong with them. This guy is sad, and he doesn't want you to drive fast. If you drive too fast, he starts complaining and then shuts down completely while he has a minute to regain. So you've got to drive slowly and steadily, get him all the way back to the headquarters so he can get repaired. And there's all these vehicles that got all these different problems out there. I think there's 7 in total. So we'll jump back into these 7 times for all 7 vehicles, because this was probably one of the highlights of my playthrough. This whole quest line itself is just fucking ridiculously stupid, but so enjoyable. I love it so much. Got that shocking wake-up call that I'm on the hardest difficulty again, and tried to do a quest that I obviously shouldn't be at this point, because they laid my ass out flat and I did no damage to them. So I kind of figured out at this point that the areas kind of had a level restriction on them. Everything in the beginning area, most things around my first part of the city, were around nowhere near a high danger, and then the further away you moved and going into the further away from the main part of the city to the outskirts and whatnot, the higher the difficulty got, the more that it said very dangerous. I kind of clicked on that the game isn't scaling difficulty, it's a set difficulty. So with that, I figured out I need to kind of prioritize where I am and what jobs I want to do. So, quickly Google what the main story is, and this is part of it. Go to Judy to find out where the fuck Evelyn is, because she had the contact. She was the contact of the contact, and we need to know who the fuck she was working for to figure out why the fuck I'm dying. From there, we instantly head over the Clouds after being told she's in a different Dance Dance club. At Clouds, at reception, you have to leave your weaponry and select which of the compatible people that you want to go see. You have Johnny in the background being an absolute knob as usual, sprouting out his bullshit. But once you get in, you can have instantly safe word, which I didn't do, or have a conversation with the lads or gals about what's going on in your life. One of the key things in this game, and Dex asked you this at the beginning of the game, is would you want to live a cozy life or go out in a blaze of glory? And this subject kind of gets lost again until the end of the game. It's kind of weird. I feel like if I did more side stuff, the point of going out in a blaze of glory might not have been missed. But it seems very realistically, if you play the main story, you're going for more of a live a cozy, longer life than if you do the side stuff where you want to go out in a blaze of glory, from what I could understand. Because when I played through the main game, I literally just kind of ran down the main story, and I felt more like the MO of the main campaign was to try and make you live, which kind of works, kind of doesn't. But I guess if I did side stuff, I might have got a different feeling of maybe wanting to go out in a blaze of glory. Not a fucking clue, because I didn't do it. When the DLC comes out, I'll probably have a quick go at doing a different ending, just to see if doing all the side stuff and getting a different ending will get a different result, but it is what it is. After you talk to her about death and not wanting to die, you then safe word, which results in you then being able to find out where Evelyn is, which may or may not result in a gunfight. For me, resulted in a gunfight because I didn't want to stealth. I didn't think I had to. I thought I could just run through and be fine. Nope, guards get angry and start shooting, kill the guards. Sadly, that makes him aggressive, but he seemed like a dick anyway, so I shot him to death. On his computer, there is some files that tell me where Evelyn went. Have a little shootout on the way back, die a time or two, kill all the boys and broskies. Once everyone's dead, it's back to outside. The receptionist is not happy about the situation that went down, but still has to give me her guns back because that's her job. Bada bing, bada boom, Clouds is done. Once outside, we start to have a little bit of a glitch in our system as the biochip that is currently slotted into our head is slowly but steadily killing us. Johnny is actually on our side now, doesn't want us to die, thinks he can use us for something one way or another, thinks we're a good lass and wants us to live. So we either keep going the way we're going, listen to a bit of Johnny, do whatever the fuck we want, the world is open to us. Okay, so first things first, this guy is glitching out and I don't know why. Does a little spin, can't sit down properly, his hands are all fucked, and I think he's drawn his gun on me, so I have all rights to blow his face away. Once all lads are dispatched outside, someone says go on, but I have no clue who. I think it's the mannequin at the side of me, but mannequins don't speak, so I have my doubts on that one. Once they're all dead and dealt with, we can go inside. Judy is upstairs waiting for us. We break down the door due to our 10 body, and we can talk to this dipshit of a Ripper Doctor. This guy stinks, he's awful, he's a terrible human being. I do not care how good of a Ripper Doctor he is. I don't care what he charges. You ask him the simplest of questions and all he does is fucking backtrack and ignore until you threaten him, and then after that point I was so annoyed I just punched those daylights out of him until he fucking went unconscious. Thank fuck that was an option. Rather it killed him, but I digress. Once we find that out, we find out there's certain statements and words that were used to purchase her, so we go to the black market BD salesman to buy one of these certain phrases, and then we get into the BD in Judy's van, and after rewatching the footage, I still don't understand how we come to the location or reason of why we're going there. I'm completely lost for fucking words on how we figure it out. Something to do with pizza slices and drinks and a lab coat. But anyway, Judy will drive us to the location where we can go and try and see if Evelyn's there and have a bit of a wacky-tacky shootout. Once we're at the warehouse, you can choose stealth or all gunfights, and you can see on screen, my ass chose the gunfights. I fucking love shooting in this game. So we make our way through the catalogue of enemies that we'll find in this place. Couple of deaths, a couple of resets, fuck the checkpoint system. As I can feel, slowly but steadily, my build is somewhat coming together now. I'm starting to feel a bit stronger, move a bit quicker. I'm enjoying myself more and more each level up, which is always nice to feel yourself get stronger as the game progresses. A lot of games struggle to do that. This does not. I generally always do feel like I'm getting stronger with each and every level up and progression in the missions. But as we make our way through, we get deeper and deeper into this warehouse, find out more and more stuff. We find a girl just completely fucking tore open with implants and organs stolen from her. Move in deeper until you find Evelyn, who is a complete and utter wreck, currently tabbed into a machine. You unhook her, grab her, and take her out into safety. So we get back after a little jump cut. We find out Evelyn's doing alright, just sleeping off everything that's happened to her, trauma and whatnot. Judy has a lead for us, and you wouldn't fucking believe, but it's in a BD. I'm sick of brain dancers. Scan everything you need, find out where we need to go. Bada bing, bada boom. We are fucking out of here, onto the next part of the game. So, knowing the Voodoo Boys are next on target, I need to first go stop a rogue car, because rogue cars should not be on the road. This guy, instead of being sad, depressed, and not wanting me to drive fast, is driving kooky crazy, and I need to chase him until he crashes. Once he crashes, the signal will be linked, and old guy, robot dude, who's been controlling these cars, can call him back to the workshop and get him fixed up. So, while I was off doing jobs, Mr. Hands, which is the guy setting me up with the Voodoo Boys, or Voodoo Guys, or Voodoo Gals, or whatever the fuck they're supposed to be called, he set me up with a job to go do for them. If I do it well and good enough, Bridget will come and see me. But first, I've got to do this firing range job, because I'm already here now, I might as well finish it. The job is pretty simple. The side gig is really easy. It's just a firing range match. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You just get a legendary pistol if you win. But you just have to use low caliber, so pistols, and shoot the targets. A single shot on one target counts as a point, but a machine pistol can shoot the same target multiple times, meaning you get multiple points on a single target, meaning that as long as you have a machine pistol equipped, you can just cheat your way to victory very quickly and get 100 points very fast, meaning that you automatically win and they lose and you get the pistol. And this guy just loses business because I'm a fucking genius. So, I couldn't figure out what the fuck was my free gift from the start. I don't know what job gave me the free gift, and not a clue. But there was a free gift to collect, and I have no clue how to collect it. It took me a while to figure out which one was the free item. I ended up buying 2 items, trying to figure out which one was my free one. It was a rough time to be alive, to be honest. But after minutes spent, money spent, I eventually do buy the right item, get my quest complete. And the one thing I haven't spoke about during this whole time trying to run through the game is the police missions. There's a little speech bubble, I would say, is what it mostly resembles on the map when a mission for the police show up. It's more criminal activity than police, but it's the same thing. And it'll normally be either these people are doing illegal things, stop them, or this item is illegal, go grab it. Or in more rarer but fun cases, there'll be a full outpost full of people with a item or person that needs to be taken out. And you just go in and you have to just try and clear out the whole area. These ones are the funnest ones for me. I did enjoy any one of these that popped up. I only had a few pop up, but when they did, oof, I had a fucking enjoyment cycle. Trying to stealthily, cover, dodge, shoot, get into a safe spot, make sure I'm not out in the open, because they are here, there, and everywhere. I gotta move, cover, shoot. It was really fun. And it really amplifies how much fun the combat can be when you have to think on your toes and keep moving quickly. The problem is, again, because of how long it can take to clear these things out, and while you're in there, you're forever considered in combat, you will have to reset at the beginning multiple times if you die, and it does get infuriating after a while, to a point where I did leave one of them when I was really nearly close to being done, and I got one shot by a sniper rifle, and I had to start all the way at the beginning, and I was not clearing it out again. But this one was really fun, did enjoy them. These are my more fun ones from the police. My least fun ones is when it's just like a group of 3 enemies, and it's like, oh, kill these guys and grab their thing from a trunk. Kind of boring, they're the worst ones. Just killing the enemies is fine, and when you have to clear out the whole compound and get an item, or just clear the compound and kill everyone, they're the most fun, they're the best ones you'll find of this nature. Also, they normally give the best loot, because there's just higher level enemies in there that are rewarding you with higher level stuff and higher, more quality and higher tier stuff. It's just really fun, and you give more XP, more stuff. It's just cool stuff. Couple of side gigs down, it's time back to the main story. Person of interest, Rogue. She can find people, don't understand how, don't know how to question it, we're gonna move on from it. We needed to find a Rogue Arasaka agent who has worked on or slash kind of developed similar chips as this one, that he was part of the project. We need him to save my life. Goals have been set. This is the fucking most annoying thing ever, and I really want to know if there's a way around it, but I'm too lazy to Google it. I had to pay $15,000 to progress this main story. I wanted to buy a car, and I was like, I'll come here first, and then I'll buy the car. Could no longer afford the car. I was an angry boy. Pretty sad lad. Confused fella. I can't see a way of not being able to not pay the money. I feel like no matter what I did, I had to pay the money no matter what. So this main mission puts me 15,000 down for the reason of putting me 15,000 down, which is wonderful. Love it. But once you've done that, she sets you up with one of her clients, and you've got to go help her get her shit back before she'll help you go get your guy back. Lovely stuff. Okay, this one's going to be hard because it's about me remembering the quest line in its exact entirety, which is annoying because Panam's quest is long and somewhat forgettable in some aspects, but I'm going to try my best. Seeming Panam is one of the 3 characters in this game I actually grow to like and adore. So, let's get this going. Panam's quest starts by going to her car and finding her upsetted that she doesn't have her cool set of wheels and her cargo stolen. You go get your car back, but first, before you do that, you have to let her drive. I hate when that's forced upon me, so she can drive to her family hideout, her like family camp, if you will, to go grab some weapons and a box that she wants, and I don't remember why she wants the box. From there, you ask her 2 people that actually like her and look after her if they'll come help, but they won't come and help. They gotta fix generators. From there, we leave to a city where we're gonna ambush some fellas. You can do this stealthily. I went, you wouldn't have guessed it, loud and proud. Eventually, once everyone slowly and steadily drops, because this is a very hard combat mission, I can't lie, they are fucking surrounded everywhere, and if you do not get the right opening and wait long enough, you just get rained with bullets and can't really move. But eventually you'll get the keys to your car, get in the car, get the cargo back. Then once you've got all that, instead of doing the job that you want to do, you gotta go help her destroy the people that stole her car. Once you've done that, you can then sell the cargo. Once you've sold the cargo, you can then go to the EMP station, like the electronic station, and take that down. Then you EMP the vertibird, like fucking plane thing that the guy that you want is in. When that doesn't work, she shoots a rocket at it because boom boom makes for the world to go around. Then you find out that her 2 friends are going to the crash ship to see what's happening. That's a no-no. Once you get there, you gotta take down all the guys and robots and turrets that are situated around the helicopter. There's one guy alive, but I just put a bullet in him. The one guy that is actually alive on our side is one of her friends. She's lost one, but kept one. From here, you go to what I would consider the most buggy part of the game, which is trying to get the guy you actually want from the service station. Sweet Bippy, does this thing not function? So on my way there, I don't know what happens. I crash into nothing and lose my motorbike and get sent flying. That was fun. Like, she's just moonwalking off her motorbike every now and again, which is awesome. Love that. Tried to break in through one way and just teleport through the door to break it through another. This section does not function in the slightest. It's insane. My friend fell through the floor. If I can find that clip, I'll post it. It is just insane how well this does not function. But overall, it is a really fun gunning section. You can stealth your way in, or you can go loud and proud. You wouldn't believe which one I chose. I went loud and proud once again, but I kind of tried to sneak into the building so I had decent cover from the turrets, because those turrets are deadly that are stationed out on the front. So you want to try and dodge those as best as you can. But once you're inside, it's a fucking free-for-all of just gunning down flying bird robots and just dudes with attitude just coming at you from all angles. It's a pretty fun fight. I just like it when it turns out into an all-out free-for-all gunfight. And that's what happens in this gas station. Eventually, when you do clear everyone out, turrets included, because I think they need to be dead for the quest to continue, but I'm not too sure. But I took them out anyway. Only took a handful of tries, didn't take painfully too long. From there, what you do is that you go and collect the Arizaka guy that we came for, that was being transported and was hiding out in here. You knock his ass out, you take him outside, and then the whole clan shows up. Bit of an argument between the Pan Am and the guy who runs the camp shows up, and when he's arguing, you just kind of be like, it was my fault, and everyone's choices are their own, so I don't care for him that much. Throw the guy on the motorcycle, and then you just teleport straight to the hotel room, ending Pan Am's part of my story, meaning that I don't have to try to ever run through this part of the game again, because Jesus Christ, it is a mouthful, and a lot of stuff does happen. I may have missed a thing or two, but I think I generally hit all of it for the most part. I feel like that's everything to do with her. Except from that, yeah, that's where that ends, and the next part of the game begins, where Johnny Silverhands becomes more obnoxious somehow, magically. Broski be taking a long nap, but after a quick wake-up call, it's time to question him on how to get this chip out of my head before it ends up killing me. Sadly, he doesn't know anything. He's very worthless in the situation. He worked on a prototype. This is a different version. Doesn't know anything about it. He gives us plans. Johnny gives us quips. He doesn't give us much useful information. Back out we go into the wild world of Night City, trying to figure out what my next steps are in safety. While figuring out my next steps, it's time to get some side jobs done. Want to try and stay ahead of the curve XP and damage wise, so side jobs are always a good way to do that. Judy is in trouble. There's something wrong at her apartment and I must get there straight away. We've got a motorbike now for doing Pan Am's quest, which is huge for the account. So I don't have the car I want, but I'll make do with bike for now. And it's all the way to Judy's place to see what the fuck is cracking with her. Sadly, you get there to find out that Evelyn has just completely and utterly offed herself. She did not want to live with the traumatic experiences that she kind of wound up getting tangled into, sadly. It is actually kind of fucking shitty, there's no way to save her, but it is what it is, sadly. So you then end up trying to help Judy, call the police, get the services involved. They do not care because someone's dead, not dying. There's no crimes being committed. The police stink. Yada, yada, yada. The average dealie with police in video games being utterly worthless and somewhat in real life at this point. So then after that, you could just console her on the roof. And she says she'll be in contact with you as soon as she has everything sorted out. She'll keep in contact. Judy is one of my favorite characters in this game. So any chance I get to do her side stuff, I do try and do it. Because, like her. Cool character. The final kind of jobs you can do in this game are the cyber psychos, which are people who have just lost the fucking plot and have gone absolutely batshit insane and done some fucked up stuff. There's a load of different ones, and they all have a different way to summon the big bad with a big bad health bar. And yeah, they're pretty fun. They are, in essence, just a mini boss fight to do that gives good loot if you can kill it. I did a couple of these while I was running around, just fucking about, trying to get some XP and some cool new weaponry. As you can see, we've got a auto-aiming shotgun, which is anyone in that square on the screen is automatically targeted by the shotgun. I'm not a big fan of the smart target systems. They kind of feel weak damage-wise. It doesn't really balance out enough for the auto-aim. Especially with a shotgun, I've got to stand in front of them anyway. If I'm missing a shot, that's on me. I don't know about the other auto-aims. I didn't get a light machine gun that had auto-aim or anything like that, so no clue if it's worthwhile more on the automatic side of things. But for the shotguns, I didn't really feel like they increased the value of a weapon enough to have it on. So after a couple of side jobs and psychos are down, it's back to the main story at hand. The guy that is trying to prove that the son killed the old Arizaka guy is back again, trying to prove that thing I just said was true. The contact that he gets us put into says, no, you can't be spreading misinformation, especially not as close to the parade as possible. You better leave before the parade happens, or I will make sure bad things happen to you. No, you must leave now. He was fucking worthless to us, but, he lets us leave. Swell guy. We drive to the old woman that gave us jobs at the beginning of the game, and she gives us information on the float and all that good stuff about the parade for Arizaka Towers people. And from there, you practically are now planning on how you can hijack the parade in one way or another to get close to the Arasaka guy's sister that is currently in charge. That is the general gist of what happens, and I feel like I nailed that. I feel like that is the general gist of what is going on. Jesus Christ. So my favorite part of the game pops up. We get to go hunt a Delamain car down again, which is fucking huge. Love this one. This one's probably one of my favorite ones because it is a... I'm going to go with... It's not the actual voice of GLaDOS. It is just a mimic of GLaDOS. His voice, but the car is literally just took the personality of GLaDOS on board, trying to do a test on you and trying to get you killed, promises you cake. It's all fun stuff. I'll put a clip of the voice in the video just because I think it's really fun and cool and interesting that there is a GLaDOS car in this game.
Okay, that's enough.
So after that mocking bit of dialogue for falling for such an easy place trap that I didn't actually realize was going to happen, you gotta kill everyone around you so that the GLaDOS car will come back to you. But while you're doing all this and fighting, she is also mocking you, so this is awesome. I love it. It's such a cool fucking quest. I don't know why. The Delamain quest are like actually some of the best in the game, and I just don't understand why. It's so good. But yeah. After you do this, kill all the guys, get mocked by car GLaDOS. Eventually, Delamain will reconnect the connection and get her sent back to the workshop to be sorted out, and however Delamain sorts these things out, and that's another car under our belt.
You shut down, or I'll turn you into a scrap heap.
Here come the test results. You are a horrible person. I'm serious. That's what it says. A horrible person. We weren't even testing for that.
Going back to Delamain really so scary? You gotta drag this out.
I let you survive this long because I was curious about your behavior. Well, you've managed to destroy that part of me.
Welcome to the part of the game I like to dub the Voodoo Boodoo Bullshit Boys. These guys annoy the crap out of me and I can't wait to be past their section. Placide over here has a job for us before we can see Bridget because, well, I'll spoil it now. Bridget's in a coma, so we can't actually speak to her till we do the job to get her out of the coma. This was all a setup pretty much to get me to save their ass, which is huge. Love it. But before we go, he gives us a rundown on the mission and becomes our eyes and ears. He can hear and see everything that is going on around us at all times during the mission. And before you know it, we've got to go off to a shopping mall to go collect what we need to collect. Okay, so during this mission, you can either go stealthy, which is the way the game intends you to do it, and the way that Placide wants you to do it. But I don't like Placide. I don't like any of the voodoo doo-doo bullshit guys, so I just went balls to the wall, gunfights, fucking hot fire, dick and wall energy, because that's just what I produce, dick and wall energy. So I just went ham, and it made the mission like 10 times harder. There are so many enemies, and there's like any enemy that catches you off guard can put you in the ground pretty fucking quickly. You gotta keep your health topped up pretty snazzily or you're gonna end up in a grave very quickly. So, until you realistically get to the shop on the left hand side that has the mounted machine gun that you can unmount and just use as a gun, you're going to be taking a lot of fucking deaths just because there's so many and they hit so fucking hard. It's insane. But eventually you'll slowly but steadily dwindle their numbers down to a point where you can actually get to the van that is needed to progress the mission. Once you get to the van, you hook up, find out where the guy is, go into a room, start a boss fight. This guy did not pose a threat to me in the slightest. He went down without a fucking problem. GG, well played, whoever the fuck you were. Don't remember what you did in the slightest, but you weren't really a boss, and I hope you don't get a paycheck at the end of the day. You didn't do your job. From there, you go straight into where the guy is. He cuts all communication off from Placide, so he can't see or hear anymore. You can either choose to team up with him, or can just do what Placide tell you to do and put a bullet in him. I went with the right option, question mark, wrong option, question mark, and teamed up with him instead. So he let Brigitte go, but at the same time, I didn't do the job that Placide wanted me to. But Brigitte is now uncomatose and ready to be talked to. Okay, so from what I remember, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never really done a video like this based on a very story-driven game. So I'm trying my best to make sure I hit most of the plot points and stuff. the more videos I do like this, the better I'll get at it, obviously. But this is my first time doing it, and the DLC comes out soon, so I'm trying to get used to it. But without further ado, Bridget is here to put us in an ice bath. The ice bath is made so we can go do Johnny Silverhands' backstory, because he knows a girl that is currently missing, and we need to know where she is, because she is a key to something that I don't remember. Oh boy. The Johnny Silverhand sections are probably the more funner sections of the game, because when you're playing on the hardest difficulty, at least, everything is a slog. Like, you've got to be making sure you're in cover, you're taking your time, you're not just running and gunning, you got to peek around, make sure no enemies. If they're closing the gap, you got to make sure you take them out before they close too much of a gap, because once they close too much of a gap, you might as well start writing your eulogy, because you ain't living anymore. But when you play as Johnny, you get a really strong pistol and you can tank a lot of bullets. So you run around one-popping people. It's such a breath of fresh air when you've been playing on the hardest difficulty to run around and one-shot people. It's really fun. So in this section of the game, I don't really get what's happening. I think Johnny is with a girl and they do the funny sexy thing. And then she leaves, he goes, meets her out back, she gets kidnapped because she's a runner, and they plan to go get her back, but then by the time all the fighting and gunning and pew-pewing is done and whatnot, by the time you get to her, she's been uploaded to the internet, and she's hiding somewhere in the towers or something. I think that's what the story tried to tell me. And now we know, then Johnny has a conversation with her about it, and that the girl that he knew is no longer there, but like she can help us if we get her and stuff. Some stuff happens, I don't really get it. But once you come out, because I trusted the guy, he's killed everyone with a virus, so then all that's left to do is clear out house and fight the boss of this, which is Placide. I can't wait to put a bullet in him. Right, because game design is obviously hard. I've witnessed it with this game many times. The key idea is that when you wake up, you had one or two options. I didn't get them because I already pre-chose my option, apparently. You can either kill her, Bridget, when you wake up, and just kill everyone and leave. Or you can just leave and let the voodoos be voodoos. But because my option was already chose for me and everyone's already dead, I didn't get the satisfaction of putting a bullet in Bridget. The ending of this whole run and gun section is supposed to be a boss fight between you and Placide at the end in this one room, and the door closes behind you, and you're supposed to try and fight him in this quote-unquote boss room, right? And then if you kill him, you have to leave. If you die, you have to restart. The problem is how it's supposed to go and how it can go are two different things. First time, it worked. He didn't come down the stairs, so I fight him in this room. It is a nightmare. It's not very fair, in my opinion, so... The second time, it bugs and breaks, and he gets stuck on the stairs, because you see, I don't think he can break the door. It doesn't seem like he can go past this barrier that is set for his room. So he gets stuck near the top of the stairs, and you can just gun him down for free. Meaning Placide goes down like a bitch boy, just like the fucker he is, and I get to leave without even having to put a fucking ounce of effort into killing the lad. He just dies because he's an idiot who doesn't understand how stairs work. The fucking moron. So, a couple of things happened. One, I bought a car, and I don't know when. I can't find the footage of when I did buy the car. So here's the car. Tell me this car isn't giga broken. Its windscreen is the whole fucking screen. I can actually see where I'm driving, which is insane in this game. Seeming half the cars have a small slit as their windscreen for no good reason other than futuristic cars are futuristic, I guess. Other than that, I go save a Delamain car from committing suicide so that Delamain can bring him back to headquarters to save his ass. His suicidal tendencies will be stopped if I have anything to do about it. All the way back to the main quest at hand. Now, back to this part of the main quest. The main quest kind of feels disjointed in a way, where you're kind of jumping from one thread to another, and it doesn't really do a lot for me. Because, like, we just finished doing the voodoo bit, and now we're jumping back to this guy trying to prove the old man was murdered by his son, so we're gonna go hack a float. But that was set up prior to doing the voodoo stuff. Same as, like, Judy showing us the voodoo people. Like, we just keep jumping back and forth between plot lines, and it's kind of disorientating a bit, but I digress. That might just be a me thing. We gotta go hack the float for him so he can hijack it and go find the sister that he needs to find. But first and foremost, I gotta clear the area out, which was a bit of a struggle because I had no ammo, as you can see on screen. But you can't craft ammo while in combat, and I didn't craft it before combat, so it was a bit of a situation there. But after a while, we do clear it out, hack the float, and get out of the building and wait for him to contact us again so we can go do the parade mission. So from there on, I just did some side jobs and some psycho missions, and somehow, magically, this is mind-blowing stuff. For the most of this video, I've been complaining about the checkpoint system and the autosave working against me in a way where it sets me further back. Somehow, magically, this one time, I have it so that it sets me up to instantly die as soon as I respawn. This happened so many times that I just started trying to move forward and heal as soon as the loading screen started. I'll just mash W and X as fast as possible to hope to get some movement dashes and heals out. It was insane. How does it go from one extreme to the other? It either saves me so far away I gotta clear out 5 rooms to get back to where I was, or it puts me in the middle of a death loop. What kind of autosave system did they cook up here, man? It's so insane that I got stuck here for so long. I was so mad. Jesus Christ. It's festival time. The festival and floats are all moving, but my job is to take out all the enemies and snipers so that he can cross safely on his float. Once we do clear out all the snipers, there's one guy left. We gotta hack into this thing that this woman is on, but first things first, it becomes a boss fight. This boss again, he doesn't really do a lot. He just kind of dies really quickly, which is a common theme in this game so far, is that the normal enemies are harder than the bosses. Like, just a pack of enemies can be like 10 times worse than any singular boss can be. But, you live and you learn, you move on from it. He doesn't take a lot. I think you could have left him alive, because people kept commenting, like, oh, you could have left him live. Like, he didn't have to die. And I'm like, well, it was him on me. Maybe I could have kept him alive. That might have been an option. I'm not too sure on the whole dealie there. My save is past that point now, so I can't really go test it anymore. But I would be intrigued to see if you could save him or not. Maybe he doesn't have to die, but he dies anyway because he attacked me first. Like, I'm not gonna sit here like a little baby bitch and let him kill me. I'm gonna kill him. So he goes down. Then we watch through the camera lens. We find out that the guy who's fucking set us up for this job kidnaps the sister and then causes shit. We have to flee the scene and meet him in a motel. For me, this must be the worst part of the game because none of it works properly and it's annoying. So, when you go up to the door, you're supposed to knock on it 4 times. This one was my fault. I knocked on it once by accident, not selecting the right option, just thinking that the option would be pre-selected for me. I didn't have to select that option to knock on a door. And bada bing, bada boom, shotgun to the chest, have to redo it. Once I redo it, you get in, and she's just a bit mieved about being kidnapped. You try and explain the situation to her, but she doesn't believe it, which makes no fucking sense, because later on you find out that she knew that it happened. Everyone on the board knows, so I don't get why she's acting like this now. Stupid shit. Then, when the fucking feds show up to arrest us, everything blows up. He's just stood there. There's nothing wrong with him. And then they just claim him as dead, which is dumb as fuck. I hate it. It's so stupid. He's just doing a superhero pose as everything falls around us, and then he's just claimed as dead. Then the lighting in the rooms that you fight through is just red. You can't see anyone. You don't know what you're shooting at. I spent fucking so long just trying to find a position where I could see what's shooting at me. If it wasn't for the health bars and the hitboxes, I wouldn't know if I was hitting anyone, because it's so damn near impossible to see anything that's happening in this area. It fucking stinks, dude. So, what is next for us? Well, once we've cleared all the rooms filled with the worst lighting in the history of lighting, you then get onto the streets, collapse onto the floor, and get teleported to the next plot point, pretty much. We are closing in on the point of no return. This hotel room is a signal sign that we are on our last couple of legs. We ain't got much left in us. There's only a few more main missions left, and then it's up to you how many side missions you want to do to unlock some side story stuff and some main endings and whatnot, but we'll get into those in a second. But first things first, we gotta receive a doll that shows up at the hotel, and you find out it's the woman that got kidnapped, and she now believes you because she always knew it was the truth. Yada yada yada, stupid shit, and we can go back on to playing the actual game at hand. Next up on the block was a side gig. I'm pretty sure you can let Johnny take over, and when he takes over, he just does a lot of random stuff for the night. Once he's fully done his shit and convinced Rogue that it was Johnny living inside of me and not just me, she then goes on to finding where Adam Smasher and some other guy is, and that is what the side gig becomes, just going to locate these two people. Once Rogue is convinced, obviously, and she gives you the location, you go to a shipyard where the main target is on a ship, but you gotta fight your way there first. Silverhand makes comments about Rogue dragging this out, making it a harder job than it needs to be because she's not ready to face what she's about to face, but it doesn't really add up to much because you can just brute force your way through it anyway, so it literally means nothing. From there, you just literally fight your way towards the boat. Once on the boat, the guy that you're out there to find and shoot and kill is there, and you just go find him and shoot him. He doesn't die instantly. You do some dialogue with him. You get Johnny's pistol because he's the one with Johnny's pistol, so that's fucking huge. Got his weapon, and he gives you the coordinates of where you'll find Johnny's body if it's still there. And here's another thing that shows that like these side jobs and stuff are, to me, the better part of the game over the main story, because this shows Johnny in a different light. The guy just wanted to know what was happening to his body and stuff. You go there, you find out that it's just not there. He is withered away. He is done. They've carted his body off and probably compacted it into nothing. And you can kind of see some general devastation in him, like he just got forgotten about and left to rot. You can decide to, which is what I do, put a marking there to show Johnny was here, and he thanks you for that and asks you to set up a date with Rogue, which I do not do, and let him take over again because I've got a game to finish, sadly. Back to the main story, and this is the point of no return. Once you go up the elevator and into this room and talk to her, there is no returning from this point. This is the end of the game, and because I didn't do any side stuff or anything that nature, well, okay, I did side stuff. I didn't complete anyone's side story, or I didn't like finish anyone's complete quest line. I just did side gigs and like random fights and whatnot, mostly for my side stuff. You only have one option for this. Once you get in the elevator, Johnny will be mad at you for going to the Arazakas and, you know, siding with them. Then your brain will have a bit of a meltdown. Victor will fix you up but tell you it's gotta be now or never, kid. There ain't much life left in you. Once you make your decision, you have two ending options from here. You'll get taken to the roof by Misty. You can either end your life there and then and be done with it all, or you can go to the Arazaka Tower. All endings go to the tower. Until the DLC, maybe it'll end differently, because the DLC is supposed to add one ending. But overall, the general gist is you can either end it now or go to Arasaka Tower. Because I didn't do any side content or anything like that, like I said before, I have to side with the Arasakas, which is the one sister that wants to overthrow his brother. So that's what I do. I put blockers on to cut out Johnny so he can't be mad at me forever. And I start the descent into madness, which is siding with the Arasakas. Which, once you do this, by the way, the game just turns into You Fucked Up, the musical. You automatically, Misty starts to hate you because of what happened to Jackie, which is fair. Then you get the asshole who you got the blueprints off comes in and talks shit for no reason. He takes you to the woman, and then there's an all-out gunfight to get her out. Once you've done the gunfight, killed the mech, which took a lot longer than I want to admit because I didn't realize you have to blow up the fucking guns on the mechs to make them worth any damage ever. So that was sucky by me, but I had to fucking kill him slowly but steadily. And there was no auto-saving, so you had to do the whole cutscene from the beginning of when you go down with Misty to talk about your fucking card readings and stuff. You restart from there every time you die, because as soon as you enter the beginning bit, you can't save during the cutscenes, you can't save while Misty's talking to you, you can't save while that asshole's talking to you, and you can't save once you're in the fucking Arasaka residence because it's instantly combat. So you end up having to redo that whole section if you die once. The autosave fucking sucks in this game. From here, you get into a helicopter ride with them too to go to Arasaka Tower to finally end all this. Now, I'm going to skim through most of this because it's just Cliff Note stuff. Nothing of importance really happens. So, pretty much, I get there, it bugs, and she won't move and won't let me talk to her, so I have to restart all the way back to the fucking long plane ride to get here, which is irritating and annoying. Thank you, CG Projekt Red, for making my life a misery through this whole ending section. From there, you then actually have her work, talk to her, go into the room with her. She tells you about how she's going to make the board meeting work. You then go down with her to talk to her old man, which is alive in holographic form, which was confusing and weird, and I didn't understand why we needed me if he existed. Then after that, you then go to a board meeting to prove to the board that the old man didn't die by stupid means, but died by brother, and that I was there to witness it. Don't know again why they couldn't just use the hologram to do this and didn't need me, but hey ho. His brother sends down goons, so you have to deal with the goons. Go up, all the way up, take all the elevators you've ever needed, all the way up to Adam Smasher. Adam Smasher was an easy fight with hard transitions, is the best way I can boil it down. No boss fight in this game was good or hard, in my honest, humble opinion. From there, what ends up happening is the game breaks because I die with a heavy machine gun, and it just considers my heavy machine gun without ammo. 3 attempts later, Adam Smasher does go down, and you do that one for Johnny, fist-pumping American flags. Straight from Adam Smasher is to the brother, where you find out his brother and the girl has a weird relationship based around like him wanting her bro. I don't get what's going on with them, I'm gonna be honest, but it doesn't really matter. You just get taken away by doctors before you die. They remove Johnny, but oh whoa, too bad, Johnny wasn't really the problem. Your system's full of tumors and you're gonna die in 6 months anyway, which means you just got the worst ending known to man. You sided with the bad guys, did fucked up shit, got rid of Johnny to find out that you're still going to die. Then you either sign your soul over to Arasaka Corporations, or you go back to Earth and die. But while you're trying to make this decision, you find out that the old man's soul has been put into the sun. So the young guy is now the old guy, and it was probably a whole ploy with the sister. This whole ending stinks because it's just you repetitively doing tests, which you don't want to do. Is the worst ending ever, and I hate it every second of it, because this is the ending to me where running through the game you're trying to live and you don't get to live anyway, and you don't go out in a blaze of glory, so it was fucking worthless. Thank you. I hate this ending, it fucking stinks. And before I could even end the game, I don't know if there's any more ending, because the game crashed. And I didn't see the ending properly. That's the most cyberpunk ending you can get. The game crashes before it ends. Oh my lord. Jesus Christ, what a way to go out. And just like that, just like the game, my ending to Cyberpunk happens suddenly and is sad. Like, if you do not do any of the side stuff and whatnot, the game just doesn't feel very good. It generally feels like there was a lot more effort put into the world and the building around it and all the side characters that are main characters in essence if you do their shit. But if you don't do their shit, they just are side characters that you see once. Every part of this game, main story-wise, if you do not do any of the side stuff, comes across as disjointed and random. But I guess that's my own fault for not doing any of the side content. If you want to run through the game and just do the story, I can't recommend you this game. It is not worth the money or time. If you want to sit there and play through everything the game has to offer, play through the side stories of your favorite characters, get to know everyone and everything that's going on around you, then yeah, I can recommend this game wholeheartedly. That is the best part of this game. During probably August, when I'm waiting for Armored Core to come out, I'm probably going to go back and just clear out this game. and all the side content it has to offer for the most part, so that when the DLC comes out, one, I'm geared and ready and fully leveled, but two, because that's just the best part of the game. It generally does feel like the game functions better around that than it does the main story. So, in essence, yes, I'll recommend this game if you're willing to put the time and effort in and play the actual game in its entirety. If you don't want to do any of the side stuff at all, because you don't have to do all the side stuff. You just have to do, like, the main character side stuff. Like Panam, Judy, Rogue would be another one, and Johnny, and maybe anyone from the Asakura Corporation and stuff. All those people, if you do their side stuff, will instantly bring more joy to this game, story-wise, than anything else. I think Bridget has some side stuff if you don't kill her, but I'm not too sure. There's also all the small bosses, like the small work bosses around that you can get jobs done for and whatnot. There's loads of stuff to do, and doing all of it is much more better than running through the story. Like I said, I can recommend the game if you're going to do that. If you're just going to run through the story, I cannot recommend this game in the slightest. It's not even worth it when it was on sale. I think Steam Summer Sale starts soon, so if you're going to grab the game, I would wait to see if it goes on sale through Steam. I got it when it was already on sale, so I don't know if it'll go on sale again. Not a fucking clue. I don't think the Steam sales has started for Steam. I don't think the summer ones have, so you'll have to see and wait and see realistically on that one. But yeah, that was my journey through Cyberpunk. It was fun. I had fun doing it. I hope this video comes out well. Like I said, I don't really know how to do these videos yet when the game is so story focused with loads of cutscenes in between and stuff. I tried my best to make sure all story points were covered while not making the video long. We didn't hit the 1 hour, like 20 mark, thankfully, but we got close to it. The next thing on block will be like a Remnant video because Remnant 2 comes out. I still have Bloodborne, I still have Fallout to do. I'm trying to catch up on all of these, I promise. I'm still playing Diablo 4. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm trying to get content out. But yeah, that's my Cyberpunk adventure. I'm hoping that the journey was fun to watch and it was enjoyable for someone out there somewhere. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.